Hey, greetings, greetings. Welcome back to the Soul Producers. I'm Griffin Gaming RPG, and I'm here with my co-producers, the three, what do we call the Three Musketeers, the Three the Hard Way,
Three amigos.
Three
Three
Amigos.
amigos. Three amigos.
Tres
That's it.
Amigos. Okay. I'm here with my good friend Fast Card FC. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing well. I just realized I got to get a copy of that opening music. That sounds smooth.
Yeah. Serious Fun always talks about that opening music, so it puts you in a certain kind of mood. And
Yes, it
speaking
does.
of Serious Fun, how are you doing today?
I'm better now that I'm with my people. What's going on?
Oh, my people. You know who used that as a quote? Someone actually tried to back in the day, they tried to ask Duke Ellington about who were the people that he wrote his music to. And he said, who are the people? The people. And he named all these different groups he was in. And he said, my people, the people, those are my people. So you went down you brought a little of that history in with us on that one. All right. I know I'm rambling. But today we are back for the month of October. This is a continuation of our series of videos that we do for our sponsors and subscribers from Patreon and YouTube, and also to our community that follows us so faithfully, and we really appreciate them. And so today, we picked a topic called Return of the Valakkar. And I would love to know, well, you know what? It's too bad we couldn't do like a survey, see how many people who watch this video would know what the Valakkar is. But of course, we're going to tell them what it is. But let's talk about a little bit of this. I kind of gave the brothers a little brief today, even though they don't know what questions I'm going to ask them. I gave them the background of this. And Fast Card, did you remember the Valakkar? Do you remember seeing that word, or was the word completely outside of your vocabulary until I sent it to
must have seen it between then and now, but it probably slipped my mind. So I was like, it was almost new when I saw it again today, but I know what it is now, obviously.
Okay. Serious Fun, SF. Was it familiar to you, or was it one of those elusive words that has disappeared into the Star Citizen lore?
Well, it was familiar when you sent it most recently because you had raised it as a word in other conversations we had. I was not familiar with it in that term before you raised it, and then when you raised it, I said, "What is that?" And I looked it up, and I was like, "Oh, there's this whole background on it." So,
yeah, absolutely. Well, to give you guys some background here, the Return of the Valakkar is actually what I was going to say Soul Citizen backers, Star Citizen backers have come to know as the sandworm on Lear 3. The actual name of the species is called the Valakkar.
Where is it again, Griff?
No, it's Lear 3. It's and Dune. How about that? And Dune.
And Dune, yeah, that's true.
Yeah. And
Right.
many of you guys know there's a little bit of community lore about this. When the sandworm was first shown during CitizenCon 2016 in Los Angeles, it created a huge amount of buzz because they struck a nostalgic chime inside of anybody who watched it of the film Dune. And right away, we just were like, oh my God, they're going to have sandworms. This is going to be amazing. But at the same time, that video started out in the bottom left-hand corner saying Lear 3. which a lot of folks didn't see.
And nobody saw that.
People were so amazed at the planet that was zooming in at them that they didn't see the Lear 3 thing. And so, of course, when we got places like Daymar that kind of remind you a little bit of a sand planet, people thought that the sandworm was going to show up. And lo and behold, the sandworm didn't show up. And so there were people who felt that CIG... some people were disappointed. Some people felt that CIG lied. Some people felt like they exaggerated. It's like some people feel like they promised. A lot of feelings came out of the sandworm. And I'm still amazed that 7 years later, that the sandworm still gets spat out of some backers' mouths every once in a while. Where's the sandworm? Still pops up.
8 years now.
Yeah, it's
8 years now.
Yeah. 8 years. Yeah, 8. Yeah, that's right. 8 years. So yeah, so we're talking about this because, as you guys know, this is October, and we're getting ready to lean into CitizenCon 2954. And as always, there's great anticipation for the event. But there is also feelings of skepticism, cynicism, apprehension, along with the anticipation that comes along. And so each year, many folks have made this trek to CitizenCon, this journey to participate in this communal event that takes place for Star Citizen backers and the developers at Cloud Imperium Games. So we're going to kind of examine a little bit. But first, before we do that, we're going to give you guys a little bit of history, a little bit of background, so that you will know. FC, you and I have been to CitizenCons. This would be we've been at least twice to official CitizenCon events. You haven't been to 3, have you? You just been to 2?
Last year was 3rd.
3. I'm sorry, you've been to 3. We've both been to 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And so you and I both went in 2016. That was when I first met you. We were in Los Angeles, and on this picture that we have on the screen right now, tell everybody who that is, who's hugged up with you there.
That's Geo Get Money, as it's known now as Sub Video. But this is like, yeah, his mama name is Geo Get Money. I'm going to call him Geo Get Money. People may not get that reference.
Yeah, and I think we both met Geo that year. And in fact, a lot of our friendships and relationships, I guess you'd say, were kind of solidified. We may have known each other through seeing each other on streams, but the opportunity to get together in person was really cool with us being there that year. Once again, here's some more folks. Why don't you let folks know who this is in this photo?
We got DJ Knight, we got Maya, and I should know her name, but it slipped my mind real quick.
What?
Dawn. No, oh shoot. Oh shoot. Yeah, it slipped my mind. You know who it is.
Okay, I'll give you a hint. It's DJ's wife.
I know that. That doesn't help. I don't want to introduce her to that. Trying to think of her name.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay, well, I'm going to say, I don't remember either. How's that?
Oh, dang. I feel bad. It's going to come to me as soon as you hit stop recording, it's going to come to me. And I apologize.
Yeah, I know. It will. It will. But at this, let me ask you a question. Was this in 2016 or 18?
16.
2016. Okay. And as you guys know, everybody on this screen were content creators at the particular time. And DJ Knight's wife, she doesn't stream now. If she was doing some variety streaming at one point, but you guys know DJ is now doing variety streaming, but he does still stream Star Citizen. Same thing with Meyer.
Mm-hmm. This is 18. I'm sorry. This is 18.
Oh, this is 18. Okay. All
yeah,
right.
It's 18.
Okay, and so does Meyer. As you guys know, Meyer's in the UK.
Epic Lala girl.
Epic Lala. There you go. Epic Lala. There we go. It came back. You're not as old as you thought. You're not as old as you thought. But this is another shot there. And the reason why we want to talk about these. This is me. And on the far left of the side was someone of our supporters who we've seen on the channel. That's Old Lefty on the other side of the screen, opposite of me, from Test Squadron. And this was in Austin. Yeah, this was in Austin in 2018. And I got my Test Squadron shirt on. I had to think about where I was this one. And of course, that's Brian Chambers there in the center of the screen at a Bar Citizen. And I'm sure that Fast Cards was at a Bar Citizen as well. But the reason why we're showing you these images is to get you an idea of some of the things that take place when you go to a CitizenCon. Fast Card, tell them this photo is right here.
Yeah, this is from 2016. That is me and Miss Hart, or Miss Hart and I, riding on the 75%, or like, what is it?
Three-quarter size.
Yeah, yeah, 3/4 size of the Dragonfly Yellowjack. Yeah, so that was that's what I think we got on that in the early stages before other people got on and broke it. We wanted the early one because people kept on putting too much weight on it and not really hitting it. But yeah, people broke it. Put it that way.
They didn't break it. They broke parts off of it. It was still
That's
there.
Broken.
It was still there. And yeah, it is a model, and it was a commissioned model that CIG had what's it called? JRDF put together. And there were areas when they told people to get on it to make sure you stood here or stepped here or don't step here, and some people didn't listen to instructions, and so things got a little clipped off or whatever, but you were still able to utilize it for photo shoots. But it was amazing. This was the first time that we actually had them build a almost full scale replica of something at and this was in Austin when we did this one here. But it was a lot of fun to be able to do that. One of the other things that they did at the CitizenCon that year was they introduced the Big Bennies. Not just
I missed that last year.
Yeah, not just as a box, but there was a vendor cap that was there, and you could pick what kind of noodles you wanted, and they put
it's one Pacific noodle that came with the box.
No, there were 4 different noodle dishes. You could pick which one. Did you stand in the line and order, or did somebody get yours for you?
No, I got in line. They said I had to order this one and you get the box for me. Maybe they did different. For me.
I know why that was, because I remember there was an issue with the boxes disappearing. They were running out of them because at first, no matter which one you ordered from, you would get it. And then
so we went at different times. Okay.
Because I think if I remember correctly, they said that I think the CIG people said that day. Matter of fact, it was the CIG people and the volunteers. They sat around like that night before folding, making those boxes. And I want to say they said it was like 1,000 or 2,000. It was a lot of them. But I remember later in the day, people couldn't get the boxes because they run out of them. Or that they got them, they had the regular ones, and only certain people had these. And I think that's when you were saying, Fast Cart, that maybe they only gave them out for one particular noodle at that point.
So I ordered the one particular noodle, but I said I want the box separate. So they gave me a carton with the food, and I got a clean box.
Otherwise, hence why they had to thin out the boxes, because of people like you who took 2 boxes. Yeah,
no, I took one. That was one. No, they gave me a regular box, a regular clean box.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah, there was one, but I got one clean box.
Okay, I got you.
No, this is something I would have liked to have seen last year. This is nice.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, we missed it.
And you can see there's food inside of it, so they actually did serve food in there. And then last but not least, the image here. Excuse me 1 second.
How about your food?
Recording.
We started talking about Big Betty's, and the Big Betty showed up for Griff. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know. My lovely wife. I forgot what I was saying. Oh,
you were standing out the picture.
Thank you. Last year, this was us in LA once again in 2353, which was last year. And this was everybody in our team in this photo? Everybody here? I think everybody's there, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, everybody's there. Go Mob. Okay. So so we've got Cap SF in the back there, Geo, Go Mob, Abdi, Johan, Yo-Yo Meg, myself, and Fast Cart.
Yeah, now you remember we had to hurt some cat because it was like, oh yeah, we're gonna take a picture all of us together. It took like 5 minutes for us to get together.
Everybody was spread out doing things right somewhere. But this was a great opportunity to meet with other content creators, with developers from Cloud Imperium Games, but even more to get together as a team. Now, the reason why I'm showing you all this is that I want people to understand that a lot of times when people think about going to CitizenCon, there's this desire about what are they going to show? What's going to be the new tech or this, that, and the other. But all the images I showed before this had absolutely nothing to do with that. It had to do with community and coming together. And even when years where CitizenCons maybe didn't deliver or didn't do certain things, the one thing that I think Fast Cart and I and Captain, because last year you went, we all walked away with a greater sense of understanding about how big this project is. Beyond all the game and tech side of it, that the community is a very dedicated and involved community. You have people who show up at this event. When we were in Los Angeles, they come from as far away as Germany, Australia, Asia, North America, Canada, South America. And I want to say there's a part of me that feels bad because it is somewhat of an exclusive event, in the sense that it does take a bit of sacrifice to go to something like this, even if it's in your country, setting aside the time, making the travel plans, paying for what you have to pay for to go, can be a bit of a commitment. But I'd have never known anyone who has gone to a CitizenCon and at the end of the CitizenCon said, man, this wasn't what I thought it was going to be, or I should have stayed home, or I wasted my money. Almost every time people are like, I can't wait until the next one. Let me go to Serious Fun First FC, because this was his first year going last year, and he can give some feedback on that, and then we're going to get into the topic.
Yeah, no, I had watched pretty much every broadcast at CitizenCon until going last year. And, if you're just looking for the factoids, looking for the items that they cover, you can do that. You can do that at home.
Mm-hmm.
One thing you can't get at home is a sense of community, right?
Mm-hmm.
When people, this picture here is at the Soul Citizens table, and the Soul Citizens table was very well positioned, right? Because we were we were one of the first tables you saw as you came into the venue proper, right? So you got an exposure to this pyro theme. Then they come around the corner, and to the right they were, right? And you had a lot of people who said things to us that reflected how they felt, not about the project, and not about any particular item that might be shown or not shown, but about us, about the community, about connection, about seeing us in this place and saying, I've been watching you since such and such, or it's great to finally meet you. I watch you every week, and
Mm-hmm.
you're how I keep up with the project, and you're how I connect, and Fast Cart's so funny, and all that,
How many
No
right?
one
people
says
told you
that.
that? Who told you that? Yeah, okay.
Fast Cart is a comedic genius,
Mm-hmm, right.
and so it was that. It was, I was on a team with people who I had not met. And then, we were able to take it further and go out and fellowship and dine together and connect, and just have that human conversation that would be important in any context. But for me, was extra important post-COVID, because I had not had that type of experience in the post-COVID environment outside of family and work, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Star Citizen was that uplifting third place, and CitizenCon was like the highest elevation of that community sensibility.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. FC, any thoughts about you for CitizenCon?
Yeah, every time when I come back from CitizenCon, as you say, I went 3 years, 2016, 2018, 2023. Every week or so after CitizenCon, I have what I call the CitizenCon blues. That's where it's like you get to see all these people all together. We all have a shared love for this project and share love for each other. And you get to see people, you get to put name to faces that you only see in chat. And that week after, it's kind of rough because you want more of that, but you gotta wait. So there's like a coming down period for me after every Citizen Con. But Griff and I will manage the table or crew in the table at the booth, and quite a few people coming up to say, "Where's Kusanagi? Where's Dark Knight?" So it's like a whole lot of people were coming in and wanted to talk to us and meet us. So that was cool.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a wonderful event, and we always want to tell people, if you can go, if you have the opportunity to attend one, try to. Next year they'll probably be over here in North America, whether it'll be maybe Austin or Montreal. We would tell if you're in the States, try to go. We think that you really would enjoy. But let's get back to this title here. If we're giving you guys a little bit of our background on CitizenCon, I want to talk about the return of the Valakkar. And the thing that I want to ask you guys is this particular CitizenCon, last year CitizenCon had a lot of anticipation, but a lot of that anticipation came from the fact that for 3 years we had not come together. And so I think there was just a whole general, not a desire for anything in particular other than just the event happening again, that we would once again be able to do that thing. And of course, Pyro was on the lips of folks. It was the theme for last year. So there was anticipation for that. But I sense that 2024, there's a different outlook, because we've been on the road for Pyro, and that was the theme for a few years leading up to last year. But this year, it's been like the road to 4.0. And we've talked about this on some of our other shows, that 4.0 is like 3.0 was in 2016. It was a change in the direction of where CIG was going. It was moving to a new level, a different place. Not just about adding some game features, but in 2016, when Fast Cart and I sat in LA for 3.0, Chris Roberts did an entire breakdown of what the game development would look like for the next 10 phases. They actually put up on the screen 3.1, 3.2, 3.3, all the way up to 3.10. And we're now at 3.24. So one of the things that happened, as I mentioned when we started this out, was that's when we saw the sandworm. And that was that whole sequence that they showed on Lear 3 really blew people away. My question for you this time is that what is CIG going to do? Will they do something similar to that blows everyone away? We already know what Pyro looks like. No question about that. We visited some of the planets. We've been down to the surfaces. They've shown us some interactions. People got to go into the tech preview and fly and try it out both at CitizenCon and then later. So there's nothing new per se. Don't get me wrong. There is new stuff there, but there's no new big revelation. Pyro, we know is coming. My question to you is, will CIG do something that wows us? And will it be a Lear 3? Will it be another sandworm? Will it be something that they'll show us, but 6 years later, 5 years later, we don't have it? Or do you think that it will be something substantive because CIG has built up their studio, built up their tech, built up their software, refocused their energies from Squadron 42? Do you think that what they show us now will be something that is much more within reach and deliverable within a year or two versus the dream, versus just the vision? So FC, I'll go to you first on this one. What are your thoughts?
Well, I don't know if people realize that, but they announced on their pages that the theme, last year's theme was Pyro, and this year's theme will be the Bengal. People may not be familiar with the Bengal. It's a big carrier, basically, and it's one of the biggest ships that they have in the UEE. Not the biggest, but the second biggest, because the biggest one is the Retribution. But the Bengal is a big carrier because several fighters, has a whole lot of crew on it, and so that is the theme this year. So given that, I'm thinking that there probably more Squad 42 base or Squad 42 focus this year, maybe. Because last year they say Squad 42 for the last presentation, the last bit.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe we still have 2 days this year, so maybe they give us much Squad 42, but we have to see. Other than that, you're asking me what would blow me away. If you talk about Terra or Soul, because I would love to see those planets and those pieces. But if you ask me what I think they'll do, I think they'll probably give us something that's deliverable rather than far in the future. Like another 12 months thing like they did last year.
Okay. SF?
Yeah, I think right. I think that the language that you use, Griff, around this idea of what kind of studio are they now versus what kind of studio were they in 2016. They're the kind of studio now that can not only give us a lot of dreams to chew on, I think they'll do that, right? There'll be stuff that can project way out, like a Lear 3 sandworm, right? But there'll be much more stuff that we'll see in the next 12 to 24 months, right? Stuff that they know they have line of sight to that is still mind blowing, right? So to Fast Card's point, I would love to see that they've been working on Terra behind the scenes, and Terra is part of the 4.0 brand. I'd love to see that they have a space highway to Soul. A lot of games are afraid to go to a future version of our solar system because we know so much about our solar system. I'd love to see CIG take that on as a challenge, right? And give us a pathway to Soul that gave us the economic loops of other systems and things like that. But that was the ultimate goal. So I think that they're going to strike a really healthy balance between giving us some stuff that we can continue to dream about, and then giving us stuff that we could see actualized, right, over the next 12 months, maybe 24 months.
Yeah. So again, those are I appreciate both those answers. I want to kind of return here to this title about the Valakkar. Is there anything that the Star Citizen community has learned from the sandworm? In other words, There are people who
that the community has learned.
I know. You said that. You should see my face.
yeah. Okay, well, okay. I don't have to explain it then. Give me your thoughts. Has the community learned anything from the sandworm? Do you think, I'm saying now, do you think if another sandwormish thing, if another Valakkar showed up, and I'm not talking about a sandworm, I'm talking about that type of mind-blowing thing, would we handle it better this time, or do you think we'd still be,
I think some of us who know better will probably handle it better, but people who maybe new and who don't know as much as don't know how CIG tend to portray and they're more inspirational sometimes than they're informational. That's not a word, but you know what I mean. But yeah, so people who may not be as familiar with CIG and their marketing may take it to an extreme. But those of us who've been around for a while, I think most of us will be cool about it. But we shall see.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think that there are one of the better uses of social media for new players is for them to have these experiences and then go online and get involved in a community. Come onto the Discord, join Soul Citizens, join some other community, and bounce their reactions off of others, because then you get some of the veterans who go enjoy that feeling and place it into context. Right? Place it into context. Right? You want them to get that positive context placement versus that negative refundian context placement, which is all about grievance and pain, right? There's a way to hear and experience some of that stuff, but also go, listen, for CIG to do this right, it's probably going to take longer than even they think, right? But I can tell you about when I used to sit in the hangar, get into my ship, and walk around and sit down and do nothing. And look at where we are now. So progress is real. It just ain't on your timeline, right? It just isn't, right? So as long as they can get into and get that into context, I think it's actually healthy. It's healthy for G to continue to dream, and for them to continue to give us stuff that can come closer to. So
So
I think the community can handle it.
All right, so here's a pill to swallow. See if you guys can handle it. The blue pill or the red pill on this one. Pat Scott mentioned the word marketing. And this question just popped in my head when he said that. And I'm not saying yay or nay to it. Was the introduction of the sandworm vital? Lear 3, was it vital to the sustaining of the project? Projecting something that is 10 years away versus presenting what they would have been working on in the next year. Would the level of excitement and fundraising existed, presenting here's the real world of what's in reach within the next year versus here's the vision of where we want to be maybe 10 years from now? Would the money have flowed the same way? Because back then they were still working on freaking tools. If they had sat and did a CitizenCon about building tools and working on socks, would that have drew in the revenue that Lear 3 did?
Want me to take which one first, or you want to go first?
Whichever one of y'all want that.
I'll go first because I want to I want to answer the question and then I want to extend it a bit. But the answer is it probably would have not driven the excitement broadly that putting a sandworm in there did, right? When we get Lear 3, will there be sandworms? Yeah, that's the plan, right? Were you going to get them in December 2016? Were you going to get them in 2017? No, they're working on Delta Patch at the time, right? They're trying to get the Delta Patch out.
Trying to get the launcher.
Spectrum. Don't forget Spectrum.
Right. Oh, this was 2.6 progress reports we were getting, right?
That's right.
They're trying to get to 3.0.
Right.
You know, the Homestead demo, whatever. You know, there was stuff that they were working on. It wasn't as sexy or fun, and there was still a lot of dreaming to do. And they showed us some of that. And so the crash javelin, the weather,
Mm-hmm.
the dragon,
Dragonfly,
the Drake dragonfly,
Mm-hmm.
the AI and the combat.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of that we have gotten.
Right.
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 Be out on Hurston in a sandstorm now on a dragonfly, approach some of these bunkers where the enemy's outside the bunker now waiting on you.
Mm-hmm.
Right. It's just the one thing we don't have is that thing that did probably, from a marketing perspective, drive interest. But here's the thing I want to say about marketing. And I just feel like I have to say this. I don't know why people expect marketing to not be marketing.
Not do what it's supposed to do.
Right? Like, I need people to stop that. I need y'all to stop that. Marketing is marketing. Like, well, this is FOMO. All marketing is FOMO. Right? All marketing is trying to get you to relocate dollars of discretion out of your wallet into somebody else's wallet.
Yeah.
Things that you need are not marketed. Ain't no marketing for broccoli. Right? You ain't never seen an Apple commercial, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Things, the things that you need do not get marketed. The things that you want get marketed, right? And how do they
or the
help
things
cultivate that?
Or the things that they make once you think you need. Right. How much junk have you ever bought because you thought you needed this, or you need this? This will change your kitchen, and it's sitting there collecting dust,
Right. But that's all non-essential stuff, right?
Right.
That is, right? And so I stopped asking CIG to stop marketing. I think they need to market. I think that's how the project survives, right? To your earlier point, what's needed is more community conversation about what we've seen, right? To place it into context. Sorry, Fast Card. I just had to say that thing about marketing.
No problem. I asked you if you wanted to go first. So the question is, do I believe that they would have raised as much money if it was more focused on tools rather than the what they're inspired to do or what they hope to do? No, they would not have made as much money in my opinion. I had to go back and look because I wanted to get my facts straight. But on one of those slides for the roadmap, I'm looking at it right now. It says 3.3 farming and rescue. They had new ships, brand new merchantmen. 3. Now it's supposed to come out in 3.3. I'm still waiting for that thing. Not that I'm salty, but I'm a little bitter. But anyway, so I just wanted to point that out because, I hope that this year they make it tighter as to achievable. Not long range goals, but more short distance goals, like they did last time. So I hope they repeat that.
Yeah, I think.
And I'll just extend that real quick by saying I agree with that. I think 80% of it should be stuff that's going to come in the next 12 months, next 24 months. But if they stop dreaming, this isn't the project that I thought it was.
Okay,
right?
That's fair. That's fair.
If I don't see 1 out of 10, 1 out of 20. Some percentage that is still like, oh, by the way, this is what the Perry line will be in terms of the neutral zone experience between the UEE and Xi'an planets. And you're not going to be able to just go to a Xi'an world, right? You're going to have to earn that reputation in some of these neutral zone Perry line systems or something like that. If they're not still dreaming about stuff, right, then this doesn't have the scope that I thought it had, right? I agree with Fast Guard, but I still need some of that.
It's fun made me think of something. This is a quick question. Hopefully, it won't take too much time. But my quick question is: typically, when Chris Roberts is giving that final presentation, it's typically said, "Oh, and one more thing," and sometimes it's a ship. Or most of the time, it's a ship. What do y'all think that one more thing? What do you hope that one more thing will be this year?
I got no hopes. I'll leave it on serious fun. None whatsoever. My only hope is this: whatever they introduce, we know there are several unannounced ships. We just got information on what one of the ships is that's coming out. I just want it to be something that opens up a new career. I don't care about a variant. I don't care, but the ship we heard about is a variant on a variant on a career from a different manufacturer. but I want a new career. I want a ship that's introducing, like if it's I'm just picking a random ship, but if it was like the Crusader, what's the ship you like? The Crusader, the C1, the E1. If they introduce
The
touring,
E1.
introduce not piracy, not black market. What's the word I'm looking for? Bounty hunting. You know, I bounty hunting ships, but I want them to introduce a career. I want to expand the careers where careers start to connect a little bit more. That's that. And whatever ship it is that goes along with that, that's fine as far as I'm
We
concerned.
definitely have enough combat ships.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you know, if we start seeing things like what exploration is going to look like, what passenger touring is going to look like, what the crafting manufacturing career can look like.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's going to materially move the project forward, because then people start seeing and start envisioning themselves in different, they're going to start thinking about different ways of seeing and being in the game. Right.
Yeah.
So, but for me, you know, you talk about the Bad New Merchantman. On the one hand, it was just after the CitizenCon that they dropped the Polaris concept sale, right? And they're just bringing that home now, right?
Right.
So, so stuff takes a while.
Yeah.
By IAE, I have expectations.
Hopefully.
Right.
Yeah.
But you know, so I come back to this so often. But the Valakkar, it was great that this is the title of this particular thing that we're doing for supporters of the channels, because the Valakkar is an example of dream big, right? That was a statement. It was not only a marketing piece; it certainly was that, right? Let's not get it twisted.
Yeah,
but it was also a set out your stall type thing. We're going big with this thing, right? For all the big and remember, there was no Dune. The last Dune movie we got was in the 80s with Kyle MacLachlan and David Lynch, right? We got a series on Sci-Fi, but the Dune movies that we just got, they were speck of dust in the eye of some producer somewhere, right?
Yeah.
When they showed us this, you know, we had not seen that good looking a sandworm ever. So
the new Dune have to have CIG thinking, oh, we're gonna have to up our game when we actually get the Leo 3 out.
Right. They're gonna have to come correct now, right? Because but it let them know that all the big sci-fi sensibility that you have as sci-fi enjoyers, that's where they're going. That's the world that they want to live in. Right. And so I was happy that they set their stall out for that, you know, and my guess is that if we can keep this project going, we'll see that and we'll enjoy that, and it'll be fun.
Yeah. You said something earlier. We're going to wrap this up. You said something earlier, Serious Fun, that I think is really important. Some people felt like when CIG showed us the Valakkar video that they lied. But the reality of it is that what they did was show us in that one video, we saw things that came within months to the point where things that are still coming. The Ursa was introduced, as you mentioned. We got that within that time frame, within a year, if I'm not mistaken. The Dragonfly, we got that. The Aquila that he flew in on, we got that. I remember Chris Roberts talking about when the Aquila landed that it needed to have the shock absorbers and stuff because it landed roughly. They put that in. There's all these other elements that led up to the worm, and many of them have been implemented over the years. Some within a year, some within 3 years, some within 5 years. But in time, those things came. And then maybe there was a deliberate reason why they put it on Lear 3, just because they needed to project a span of development that was being shown in that video. And I think it's very easy for us to not pay attention to all those things that were in there that did get done, right? They did get done. And then still some things to come, still some things to come. So I personally think that, will the Valakkar show up again this year? I think you're right, Cap. I think you're right. I think that there needs to be some vision in there still. You know, something that still says this is where we're still shooting for. There's no end game to this. There will always be something else a little further out there that we're going to pursue to excite you, you know, to get you interested, to keep you interested. But at the same time, we also, I think hopefully most of us have a better understanding about development. And to your point, understand what marketing is. And also understand that there are real people like the ones we see on that screen besides us who are really out there trying to do a really good job for this game, you know. And that's one of the byproducts that I will tell people if you go to CitizenCon. If you don't go to CitizenCon, that's the one thing that you guys miss out on. It's great to sit and watch the live stream, but when you get to stand next to these people and talk to them and shake their hands, when they tell you as a backer how much they appreciate you for your support and your dollars and your patience, it means something. And we get to say that exact same thing back to them. Believe me, they are very grateful. And also the same as we are. There's a synchronicity that takes place when you come together with these folks that is very hard to explain unless you go. So we want to encourage you guys to try to go to a CitizenCon if you can. And if you can't, do a bar citizen, you know, connect with people, you know. And last prediction, guys, is this going to be the CitizenCon or will we have to wait for another year?
Oh, crap.
In your own words. I'm not saying what the is. I'm not saying what the is. I'm saying, do you think this will be the CitizenCon? Whatever you think the might be.
That's like asking if the next patch coming to Jesus patch. I mean,
I'm just asking. You can either say yay or nay. It's up to you.
Yeah.
Okay, let me throw some things on the table. In light of, as you mentioned, the theme is the UEE and the Bengal carrier, in light of the fact that we know that Squadron has been polished over the last year, in light of the fact that you know that we're getting ready to go into 4.0, in light of the fact that we're meeting over in the UK in Manchester and at the headquarters, is it just going to be another CitizenCon or will there be something different?
I'm going to say nay, but I'll qualify it because I believe that the CitizenCon will be the one after what you're hinting at. I think the one that
the one after the what are they hinting at? Are you saying after the Squadron? After are you saying Squadron 42 gets released, it'll be the one after Squadron?
I think so.
That's post.
Maybe.
Do you think that'll be the one post?
Okay, the year of Squadron, whichever year that may be. I don't think it's this year, but whatever year.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Serious Fun. How about you? Is this the one to be at, or is it going to be another one? I mean, they'll all be good to go to. Don't get me wrong.
So you know, we all want to be right about these predictions, right? Especially I'm spending money to fly somewhere, right? So I was of the belief that there were going to be 3 CitizenCons that would be seminal.
Okay.
And when we look back, and that was last year, this year, and the next year, right? In part because they reflect certain turning points for the project, right? So last year, it was about, hey, we're at a certain point in one of the 2 games that we're developing. We're able to bring a bunch of tools over. This year, my expectation is it'll be like, hey, we're about to announce the dropping of this game, and they'll drop it between this CitizenCon and the next one. And then that one will be, to Fast Car's point, imagine a year of the cast from Squadron 42 being on Jimmy Kimmel and on Jimmy Fallon and on all of these things. And, you know, the same energy that Sean Murray got, you know, where they fell short, but the same energy that Sean Murray got when they were launching No Man's Sky. Imagine getting that for Squadron 42, people seeing all the stars that they recognize. And then that group coming to the next CitizenCon. I think that there's a real opportunity there. So I believe that these 3 CitizenCons will be, when we look back, will be important ones. One, because it's the post-COVID coming back together, but it was also like where the projects were in their development. So,
okay. I would say I would agree with both these guys, but I'm going to put a spin on the 2 of them. I'm going to flip what Serious Fun just said, and I'm going to say I'm hoping that they do the reverse of what you said, that they will introduce those people at this CitizenCon, which will be the kickoff for the marketing and preview.
Well, that's because you're going to be there.
Squadron 42. No, not because of that. It has nothing to do with that. I'll tell you why. And I'm going to totally throw your argument out on for that. Because if I didn't think that was going to happen, CIG could have made the next CitizenCon in Montreal and waited till next year to go to Manchester. because we've never been there. The fact that they chose Manchester this year, and not just because they built the studio, but if they really didn't have anything that major, they could have said, let's go to Montreal. That's our new studio. Let's do it there first. And then next year we'll come to Manchester. But that's just my crazy detective work. I think that the fact that we're in Manchester, I just feel that this is going to be the kickoff with the whole UEE thing and the whole Bingle thing, that they're going to do that to the fans and let us, because people have always asked, should they reveal it to the fans first or the industry first? And I think if they do that kickoff with those people there, that becomes the kickoff for marketing for the next several months leading into 2025, a release date for Squadron. And then they go from there. So I'm kind of a mix of what both you guys are saying, but I'm going to flip the script a little bit on Serious Funds, even though I understand him saying letting it build up to the next CitizenCon and doing it as well. So we'll see. Time will tell. We're 3 weeks away and a year and 3 weeks away if we want to look at the one for next year and see where that goes. Okay. All right. Well, listen, we had a great conversation. For all of you Valakkar lovers out there, or embracers or haters, the sandworm, hopefully... I
do have to give one more message real quick. Happy birthday, Mr. Producer. I can't even say it right.
Yeah,
happy birthday to you.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. We're gonna
happy birthday,
you guys. Thank you. We want to tell you guys, as always, we appreciate you for your support. Again, we hope you guys are enjoying these series of videos that we do for the producers. Every month we put these out at the beginning of the month. We put them out to our Patreon and our YouTube patrons and subscribers for the first couple days, and it goes out to you guys during the week. So we will be launching this out on October the 1st. On the 1st, you guys should be able to see this video. So special thanks to Captain Serious Fun and to Fast Cart, my compadres, the three amigos, the three the hard way, the brothers. Who was that? Isaac Hayes. Who was the three? Who was the three the hard way? It was Isaac Hayes, Fred Williamson. Fast Card. You usually
before my time.
Fred Williamson and Jim Brown.
Before my time.
Yeah, Jim Brown. Thank you. There we go. Jim
That's
Kelly.
Before my time.
And Jim Kelly. Before your time. Okay. Anyway, we want to tell you guys thanks as always. Stay safe. And Cap, sign us off.
Peace.
Love.
And soul. See you guys later. Ciao.